Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So in today's video we're going to be talking about something that I already made a video kind of preemptively expecting this problem to occur. So I'm going to explain this summoner story who reached out to me and his issues with it, and then again I'm going to take my thoughts and opinions about it. So it's all about Kabam removing the Carina objectives from Volume 1 and Volume 2, all of the ones that had to do with Act 6, with the changes that they made to Act 6, effectively, making those Korean challenges easier, and they kind of need some time to rebalance. Now, the problem with this entire post from the very beginning is that they never gave a timeline when they are going to come back. And now the effects of it are starting to show. So I had Almighty reach out to me, and he hasn't been the only one who's been asking about what's happening with the Korean challenges. And he has been, trying to reach out to support, ask the questions, when are they going to come back, or how can he kind of complete or finish them. And basically, the answer is that they don't know when they're coming back, and he can't claim any of the, he can't finish exploring it. And the situation here is exactly as it appears, where he has completed 8 of the 9 Volume 2 challenges, and he doesn't have the last one to complete. Simple as that. And in his situation particularly, that is exactly the amount of catalyst that's keeping him away from becoming Paragon, and obviously he's not happy with it. And has tried to get some sort of information about the return of these challenges, but nothing really has happened there. And from his side, from his perspective, is that it significantly obviously affects his prestige. It also prevents him from becoming Paragon and unlocking significantly better rewards in Eternity of Pain. That's where he stands. From my personal comments is, this situation was completely, foreseeable. I specifically made a video thinking that this is going to happen, because if Kabam made a post about this, then it clearly indicated that there's going to be some sort of prolonged period of time that these challenges are not available. Now, so I do think that obviously the responsibility of this situation kind of lies on the both sides. On the bright side, on the good side, on the proper side for Kabam, they did give people advance warning that these challenges are going to go away. They are not the hardest ones to complete overall, because they're not the Abyss or Labyrinth challenges. And if you have like 2-3 weeks to farm your revives, knowing that these might be the deal breakers of you becoming Paragon or something like that, within that time, and again, not that I'm trying to apply myself to every player's situation here, but 1992, 1997 can be, relatively easily done without any items. Super punch out, 10 revives, 15 revives should be doable. You can farm that in about 2 days in 3-6. Astral Anger, 1-2 revives, and the rest of these, I think it took about 5, maybe 6 revives total, something like that. The one problem point here could potentially be the Revolution, which requires you to have Korg, which requires you to have Gladiator Hulk and Thor Ragnarok, all 3 of them, in order for you to be able to claim them. So from that side, I do think Kabam, has at least some sort of leeway to talk about. But then, to further discussion, I don't think this job is big or intensive enough that it couldn't have been managed within a week. Or even better yet, I don't think these challenges had to be removed for months. I think they could have come up with a plan to work out these challenges before they actually implemented Act 6 changes, because I don't think the Act 6 changes, randomly dropped on their head from, out of the blue. It's like, oh, Act 6 is changing. Obviously, somebody in Kabam knew Act 6 is going to be changing. Somebody had to work on it for quite a long amount of time, and that immediately would kind of lead me to believe that the company that kind of plans things out well enough and is, self-aware what the right hand is doing from the left hand, then they could have already have these changes ready for the time that Act 6 is changed, and there would not have been any need for the downtime in any place. With that being said, at this point I can definitely start understanding players' frustrations more and more, because every day, every kind of week that passes, I kind of implies that Kabam doesn't particularly care about this situation. Because again, reworking 6 challenges, of whom I think 3, 4 of didn't really change, if at all. Because, you know, we have Super Punch Out, or you need to use Kamal Khan. That's it. You know, the fact that there's no gates doesn't matter. The fact that you can swap out the champion before the boss doesn't really matter either, because you could before bring in both copies of Kamal Khan anyways. So in many of these challenges, there's really nothing to be done in a way. So I guess the video is me asking question, what do you guys think is the appropriate time for Kabam to keep these out of the game? Because at this point, obviously, they are presenting an impossible hurdle for some people to jump over. You can't complete content that doesn't exist in a game. And even though Kabam did advise us that it is going to be removed for temporarily removed, there is no real decent communication as to return. You know, they should have, in my opinion, again, either have these changes ready for when Act 6 was nerfed, or at the very least given us exact timeline. Since they haven't done that, in theory, they can, you know, keep these away from the game for another 3 months, at which point even more people would be pissed off, I believe. So, whilst this was extremely foreseeable, if long enough time passes, that doesn't even matter anymore, because many people were, for instance, might not have been in a position to even do the Korean challenges, and now they have. For instance, if you were cap player previously, but thanks to July 4th deals and whatnot, you have progressed to Thronebreaker, and you have benefited from all of the rank up materials that have, you know, been increased, and you have quite suddenly progressed in a game where you now would be able to tackle these challenges, but obviously it's impossible for you to do because they just don't exist in a game. So let me know what you guys think. What is the situation? Do summoners have the right to be upset or pissed off with Kabam about this? And perhaps more importantly, what would you think is an appropriate or max amount of time before you do get pissed off? Because there is some amount of time. Maybe it's different for each and every single one of us, but there is going to be that point X where, you know, if they keep these challenges away from the game for an entire year, virtually everybody would agree that that's absolute bullshit. So my question is, what would be that point for you? How long Kabam would need to ignore this issue, not communicate with players, and keep these things away from the game for you to think that, you know, they're just utterly inept? So yeah, let me know, guys, because this is definitely going to become a bigger and bigger issue as more time passes. See you soon.
Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information about